As runners, we all challenge ourselves in ways we never thought possible, pushing the boundaries of what we're capable of to smash through targets and set ourselves new, bigger and better ones.
This awesome hobby that we share gives us one thing in common, and it brings us together as a community. Whether you're working towards completing your first parkrun or you're a veteran of the sport who's run 100 ultra marathons, we all know the feeling of reaching that maxed out effort and our own red line.
Welcome to our podcast, where your hosts Brett Elesmore and Andy Maguire discuss the struggles, the successes and everything in between on our running journeys, as we all work towards the next time we're running the red line. Hello and welcome to episode 49 of Running the Red Line. I am your host Brett, and I am joined as always by my co-host and Mr. FOMO himself, Andy. We're back.
Yeah.
How you doing, mate?
Yeah, we'll talk about my FOMO in a bit and my pressure to keep up with the Joneses. But yeah, all good. I've forgotten how to do this. It feels like about 8 years since we've last done a podcast.
Yeah, I've forgotten how to speak, I think.
I don't know. Feels like the equivalent of going into a race, having just done a taper. You just forget how to run.
Yeah.
I think we've tapered for episode 49.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll...
Does that mean this is going to be like a really long, epic PB?
Hopefully we can break 2. Hopefully we can go sub... No promises. Hopefully we can go sub 2. But yeah, I'm all good. Are you? You feeling good?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Legs are a bit tight today after the sessions I've done this week, but that's expected because they've been quite big sessions. So yeah, I'm in a good place though. Yeah. Compared to where I was this time last year, I'm in a much better place.
Yeah, because didn't you start podcast number 1 basically on a gurney? You might as well have been on a hospital bed because you were like, yeah. You just got your piriformis this time last year, hadn't you? You know, your piriformis.
Yeah, I was getting back after it, and then it had flared up on the other side at this time last year. So yeah, to start the year and start marathon training in a relatively good place is quite exciting. So fingers crossed it stays like this. Yeah.
2025 is shaping up to be a good year already then, which is good news.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, I say fairly uninjured and stuff like that, because the Saturday before I started the training block, we had cross country and it was freezing. There was ice and snow on the ground, and basically putting on a pair of spikes, which you haven't worn for a while. So you've got loads of grip on your forefoot, and then running up and down hills for 10k on icy ground. Absolutely destroyed my legs. My calves were in bits for the week after.
Well, it must have been rock hard, that surface. There must have been, because I imagine on a normal cross country, you know, when it's a bit warmer and it's a lot muddier, is it mainly your hamstrings and your glutes that take a battering? Because you're not quite up. I don't know. Yeah,
they do, but your calves do as well, because you've got the spikes on, so you've got more grip than you normally have.
Yeah.
On your forefoot, so you are using your calves loads, and you're going up and down hills constantly. But on this course, because the ground was rock hard, but then you went up into the woods bit, and there was like foot deep mud that was just all slushy and muddy. So it was strange old race, but it was good fun. But yeah, it destroyed my legs.
Yeah. So was that the Worley Woods one?
Yes. Yeah, where we saw I saw TQ there, but he wasn't running. He had a little bit of a niggle, so he wasn't running, but KQ was. And then we saw old Leggett Lee as well. Making his cross country day comeback, I should say.
Yeah, he made an appearance on the Q on the Run video, I think, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Yeah. Fair play. Yeah, that must have been good. That must have been cross country. Must be really good to see faces you don't see so often.
Yeah.
You know, because cross country you only see, what is there, only 4 or 5 fixtures?
In the Birmingham lead, yeah, there's 4 races.
Yeah. And is that like November to March, basically, something like that, or November to February?
November,
December,
to Feb,
January,
yeah.
February.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you probably don't see a lot of people for another 10 months, and you see them all again in November.
Yeah.
How are B&R doing this season? You sort of.
I tell you what, we're doing pretty well. Let me just pull up the league table, because
Have you got a A and a B team and all that? Are you?
Yeah, so it's one singular team, so we all run for the same team, but the first 6 runners across the line count as your A team, and then the second 6 runners count as your B team.
Right.
And then within the Masters, the first 4 count as your A team Masters, and the next 4 count as your B team Masters.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, overall so far, after the 3 matches, Bromsgrove and Redditch are in 8th out of 16. So,
good.
We're doing pretty well. We're halfway up the table, so we're not in that bottom 3 who get relegated.
Who's the Real Madrid of the Birmingham League? Who wins it every year? Birmingham Uni.
Well, yeah, University of Birmingham are well up there. They've got quite a big lead.
Oh right, okay, yeah, and I imagine Elise team Brat pretty high up there as well.
Brat are in 7th.
Right.
But yeah, first is University of Birmingham, second's Western Tempo, and third is Loughborough Students.
Yeah, Western Tempo. You always see them vests at races, don't you? Especially down our neck of the woods, because they're the bright orange vests, aren't they? And they're in the southwest, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah. And then B team wise, Bromsgrove and Redditch are in 4th, so that's pretty good. But then in the Masters, where are we? Masters team. So our Masters, Bromsgrove and Redditch are in 3rd.
Hey, the Masters. Nice.
So
is that basically over 40s?
Over 35s, I think it is for cross country.
Right.
So anyone over 35. But yeah, and our B team in the Masters are 1st.
Hey, so, nice.
Yeah, doing pretty well. So yeah, it's good. We're doing well. So that's good. I think I've scored for the Masters A team in the last 2. So yeah, happy with that.
Because your run at Worley Woods was a lot different to the one before, wasn't it? Because the one before, your first fixture.
Well, yes, the first fixture I fell well out of my depth, and then the second one was better, and this one was all right as well. So yeah. I actually feel like I'm in the middle of the race competing rather than feeling out of my depth. So
are there some runners that really muddy courses suit them better than a rocky hard surface?
Yeah,
and there are some people that would prefer a rocky hard frozen ground, because I would probably prefer that, because it's technically, I wouldn't say easier, but it is it? I don't know. Is it easier to run on that kind of surface?
Running through mud is difficult. It's tough. Yeah. Like when we used to do the Redditch race, because we won't do that this year because we're in Division 1. We're not hosting a race. So we're not doing the Redditch course, but that is always mega muddy, and because it's up and down and all sorts, it's a tough race, real tough race.
So how do those venues get selected then? Is it just random, like four fixtures get decided with whoever's in that league, or is it
I guess
top
so.
The year before or something like that?
I guess so. I'm not sure. I think teams must put forward whether they can host a race or not, and then they select certain teams from those divisions.
Because I hear about you talking about them, and I've looked on the website a few times, and I recognise a few of the venues. Like Worley Wood seems to come up a lot, and the one in Leamington, is it called?
Yes.
What's it called? Common. Something common.
Yeah. Yeah. The name's gone out of my head.
Someone's listening to this podcast, probably screaming, aren't they?
Yeah, and
it's got like a
common.
Newbold Common.
Newbold Common. There we go. And common spelt weird with a Y.
Yeah, like as if Chaucer wrote it or something from the Canterbury Tales.
The Milera was a stout carl for the Nones. Full biggie was of brawn and eke of bones.
Is this from Blackadder or something? What's that from?
That's Chaucer. I always remember that. Look at
you reciting a bit of Geoffrey Chaucer. You learned Chaucer at school. When did you go to school? 1204.
Yeah, basically.
That. Wow.
Yeah, that's how old I am.
Bloody hell, that's some serious knowledge. That is reciting a bit of Chaucer.
Yeah, the Miller's Tale from one of the books we had to learn in English Lit.
Because I think actually we might have done Geoffrey Chaucer at school, and it's not English, is it? Because it's written in, isn't it called Middle English or something like that?
Oh yeah,
isn't it? It's like a language. It's not.
Yeah, I can't remember that. Yeah, but I remember that quote. Don't remember much else.
That's pretty good. That's pretty impressive, Brett Elesmore. Not just a runner, a literary scholar. So yeah, very, very good. Do you know what? Randomly, right? So I was watching YouTube today, and I left autoplay on, and it does my head in when I accidentally leave autoplay on because it ends up watching random things. But do you know what video came on? Your 10K of when you went wrong at Redditch.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, go on, I'll watch this. And I was like, who is this? Because you'd shaved off your tash.
Yes.
For that. And I remember you saying to me, because we're talking about sort of old literary references, you said you were like Samson that day. And I remember going, oh yeah, Samson. And I didn't have a clue what you're talking about. So that came up today and I had to Google it. And Samson was a warrior or something like that in biblical times, and was given godlike strength by God himself. Of course, he's just dishing out powers, and he cut his hair and lost all his powers, and that's what you said happened to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what happens if you shave your moustache off.
Yeah, another bit of well, would you call that literary knowledge? I don't think you would you? It's
just biblical knowledge.
Greek mythology, isn't it?
Yeah. But how are we talking about this? It's supposed to be a running podcast. Samson. Was it Samson and Delilah? Is that the thing?
Why, Delilah? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
What was I going to say? Talking of cross country, you were supposed to make your debut, weren't you?
Yeah. I'm a bit disillusioned. I think I'm going to make. I might make a 2026 debut now, which is annoying because, well, no, because I'm a bit.
The only reason I'm going is because we've still got time to enter nationals, and you enter that yourself and pay for that yourself. You just need to be registered with a club. So, therefore, you need to come to Parliament Hill.
Yeah. I know. I don't get me wrong. I want to. It's not like I don't want to. It's just that I'm a bit fed up with the club.
Yes,
to be honest,
I know.
Because I bought my singlet from them before Valencia because I said to them, because I couldn't do the first fixture because I think the first fixture was Valencia weekend.
Yeah,
and I really wanted to because I hadn't. I joined them in the summer. And I hadn't bought a vest, a singlet until, and I thought, right, they're going to have, at least a few. It doesn't say anything on the website, like there's a delay with stock or anything. So yeah, I just paid my 20 odd quid and I thought, right, I'll probably get one next week in time for the January meet. And then it just didn't come. And I was like, so I sort of nudged them again first week of January and said, any chance you can sort this out? And then I even wrote on the blooming face, because I never go on Facebook anymore. And I went on Facebook and I sort of said, guys, can I borrow a vest? Which I don't really want to do because I'm a little bit OCD about borrowing other people's stuff, especially sweaty cross-country vests. And someone said, yeah, you can have one of mine. I'll bring it to track on Wednesday. And the geezer forgot to bring it. And I thought, brilliant. I went and asked in front of everyone, excuse me, have you got that vest you said you'd bring? And he's like, oh, sorry, I forgot. So remind me on Friday and I'll put it in my bag Saturday. I was like, I don't even know who you are, mate. How can I remind you? Just if you're going to remember, like, forget it. Can't be bothered. So look at me losing my head about this.
Yeah.
But
that's didn't they not register you for the race as well anyway?
Well, I had again. I'd said in December I really want to do cross country, and they said something like I had to pre-register myself to do it. And I was like, oh, well, I don't even know how to do that or what that is. All I thought, because I've got an England athletics number, I thought I'm therefore automatically registered, but obviously it doesn't work like that. And then I had to. It's probably 3 or 4 times I had to say, can I do it? How do I do it? And it's just getting a little bit laborious now. I'm getting a little bit fed up of asking them. And then, I find out they just didn't even bother bringing this vest in for me to wear. And I thought, so the Saturday came round and I was like, do you know what? I'm not even going to risk going, because if I get there and they haven't even got me a vest, I'll be like, cheers, lads. Nice one again. So now there's like, what, 1 or 2? There's 1 fixture left, I think.
Yeah, there's one of the Birmingham League races left, but
then there's
Nationals and Midlands champs is tomorrow. But obviously, I'm not racing that.
Yeah. So would you have done that? Was there any reason you wouldn't have done that?
I wanted to, but with like the running show this weekend and bits and bobs, I just forgot to sort out an entry. And I'm probably glad after the training this week. I don't think it's 7 mile the Midland champs normally. It's 12k, so I don't think a cross country of 12k would probably be a good idea right now.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I can imagine a ultra competitive cross country at the start and let's not forget you've had 2 good weeks, or where are we now, 3-4 weeks into January, and you're not injured.
Exactly.
So let's not change that, please, by doing a cross country county champs where you might injure yourself, because I imagine there's a temptation to just race even harder than, let's say, a 10k race, because the race itself is harder. So therefore, the effort you bring,
you put loads of effort in, because you're racing for the club and you want to get points for the club as well. It's not just about you; it's about getting as many points as you can. So you're racing other clubs around you, and you can, like during the Wally Woods race, there was a couple of lads who I was passing going up the hills, and then they'd pass me on the downhill, and then we'd come together on the straights, and then I'd go away from on the hill, and then they'd pass me again. And we had a proper good old battle. And there was another lad that, as we came into the finish straight, he went past me, and I thought, I'm going to leave it till the last minute and just try and sprint past him. And as I came up next to him, he started sprinting too, and we had a proper good sprint to the finish. And it's ace, and you really do push yourself. And it's not about time at all. You don't care about the time. It's just about how many people you can be in front of. It's good.
Yeah, it must be quite cool to just look around and just only see club vests as well.
Yeah.
And people you remember. Because I imagine these ding-dongs you probably have them year in, year out, don't you?
Yeah.
Because you're running shoulder to shoulder with the people who are probably at your level or not far away from it. And you've probably been doing cross country for years, and you might continue to do cross country for years. So you might have battles with the same people, I guess.
Yeah.
Over and you might never even know what their name is, but you probably recognize each other from every month you have a battle with them.
Yeah. But you do need to sign up for nationals, because you need to experience that the start. It's like a scene from Braveheart, honestly. There's because I reckon there'll probably be, I would say, because it's nationals, there'll be around, I'd say, 3,000 to 4,000 people racing it in the men's.
That's bonkers. Is it so there won't be any international, so Jakob Ingebrigtsen won't turn up, will he? It's not an international thing. No, it's only UK club runners.
Yeah.
But
well, no, it's the English nationals.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. So English clubs.
So let's say Ellis Cross, he could turn up.
Yeah.
Or Phil Sessamon, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Serious athletes could turn up if they did cross country.
Yeah, and some of them do. Yeah.
So is it a 99 or is it 100% you're going to be doing it?
Oh yeah, I haven't signed up yet. I keep on forgetting, but I'm going to sign up in the next couple of days because we've got till the end of the month to sign up.
Yeah. Well, I'm fed up of nudging my club for a vest, so I'm going to leave it to the gods of the stock of running vests if I can do nationals or not, because I'm just so fed up of asking for it. If it comes in time,
well,
and it should do because I paid for it in December.
Yeah, but the nationals race is in February, and you've got till the end of January to sign up. So you sign up yourself. So
right.
Yeah. And I don't think it's that expensive. I think it's only about 14, 15 quid.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll give it some serious thought over the next few days, and maybe we'll see. But how long does it take to order a blooming running vest, man?
I know.
Just does my head in. I feel like saying I could go and get it myself. It's Scimitar as well, who makes the club's vests. They're based in Worcester. What are you waiting for? Just go and get one. Just go and order one. I'll go walk and get one myself. I'll go and get one on my long run. I'll go and drop in at the office, say, can I have a vest? I know you just does my head in. I just don't know why there's such a delay.
You've got to though, because you've got to put them new spikes to good use.
Well, I did get some new spikes for Christmas that I did ask for some, and Laura got me some, and they're really nice. So they're if I was a Sunday League footballer and I put these on, I'd get my leg broken. They're that type of spike. They're Nike. They're Nike.
They're the rival, aren't they?
They're the rivals, yeah. And they're like I can't describe it. They're like multicolored.
Yeah.
Very typical Nike style. They're all contrasting and conflicting colors, and they're all quite neon and quite bright, but they look quite cool.
Yeah. And isn't there like a white bit on them with text on that looks like someone stuck a plaster over them?
It looks like newspaper or something, on one little bit. So, but I'm sure I wouldn't be the only one that's got a pair, because they're.
Oh yeah, you won't.
Fairly easily searchable, but yeah, they look pretty good. And obviously, I haven't really had a chance to try them on. I've only tried them on without spikes on around the lounge. So it's really weird because they actually feel really snug. I mean, I'm sure that's how they're supposed to feel.
Yeah.
Which is not really like how I like to feel when I'm running. But I guess the whole point is you need to have them clinging on for dear life, because they will fall off your feet.
Yes, very easy. Yes, I've heard of people losing shoes during cross-country races. That's why you see some people duct taping around the shoes onto their foot. Talking about that, one cross-country race, Yarrow lost both of his shoes. Both of his shoes came off because he hadn't tied them up properly. So just carried on and finished the race in his socks.
What a legend! That's amazing. Wow, that's pretty cool. I wonder, did he go back for him? Did he find him?
I think he found him at the end. Yeah. But...
Funny. Well done, Yarrow. That's pretty cool. But anyway, shall we talk about some plans that we've both got? Because
definitely
we've got a bit of an agenda. We've got since we've been gone, quite a lot of stuff's happened. Some records have fallen.
Oh, yes.
There's already been some big races since we've last podcasted, and of course we've got emails and shout-outs to do. By the way, earlier on today, I put a thing on our Instagram account saying, has anyone got anything they're training for? Let us know. And I thought we'd get 3 replies. No joke. There's been about 200 replies. So probably won't do that again. Yeah. But fair play to everyone that's told us. There hasn't really been 200. We will get round to shouting everyone out, because we want to celebrate you guys as well. But we've got some plans, haven't we?
Yes, we have. Do you want to tell us about your FOMO first? Mr. I'm not running a spring marathon.
Yeah. I just couldn't not run a marathon. I got to tell you what it was. So got to a point where people had started training over Christmas for theirs, for Manchester and London already started and that sort of stuff. And people are doing Brighton and Boston. I just thought, I can't wait to Valencia to do my next marathon. Why don't we just do a race and just see what happens? And let's call Valencia the A race. And, it's a nice little cheeky spring marathon. So I've settled on doing the Leeds Marathon, which is one of the easiest marathons in the UK.
Oh, man. I think you're mental for signing up for that.
So first and foremost, it's the only one in the UK that's still got any space left.
Well, yes, there is that.
So I would have had to, don't know what I would have done if it weren't for Leeds, but there are still some spaces left. It hasn't sold out, but it's not a small race. It's going to be about 12,000 people, I think, maybe even more than that. There is a half marathon on the same day, as far as I'm aware, but it looks like a decent race, and it's only 2 or 3 years old, so it's a fairly young race.
Yeah. Is it the Lee Burrows one? Is that his
yeah.
name? Yeah.
Rob Burrow.
Rob Burrow, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's the guy that tragically died. He got MND, and he was a rugby league player, and then all of a sudden got this MND disease, and then obviously became wheelchair bound. And then Kevin Sinfield, who was like I think, if he's not been knighted, he definitely should be knighted for all the services he's done to motor neuron disease. But he was like, I'm pretty sure they're best mates, and he was also a teammate of his at Leeds. Basically made it his life's work to fundraise and just do loads of things. Like he did, what did he do? All these ultra marathons in one day, or loads of marathons. He's done lots of crazy fundraising. And last year did he push Rob Burrow in the chair? I'm not sure. Yeah. And then he sort of famously picked him up and carried him over the line, which was a bit of a touching moment. And since then, Rob's passed away. So apparently, it will be quite a poignant one on the start line, and I think it will be. But what I like about the Leeds sort of mantra is it's all very down to earth up north, and it's. I think I'm already know that I'm going to love it, but their sort of strap line up there is with a mate for a mate, and I just really like that, and I really like the camaraderie that there's going to be around the start line and with the other runners and stuff.
Yeah. And
because by all accounts, it's a very, very tough marathon. Apparently there's like a 2-mile hill at 18 to 20. It's a bumpy course. But I'm going to try and get a PB. I'm not doing it half-assed. I'm going there to try. I'm not saying I'm going to do a 3:10 or a 3 hours, or I'm just going to try and get a PB, but what goes up must come down. And I think I'm starting to learn. How many times have you heard me or other runners say it's not a PB course? Any course is a PB course, isn't it? Within reason.
Yeah, I suppose. And
hilly courses. I mean, even you were like, "Come on, mate." But like, there is if it's a marathon, there's a chance of me PBing. And I'm the one thing that I'm going to make sure that I continue to do in this training block is just keep putting in the hills. Keep working, keep working hard up those hills, and keep getting the volume in, and hopefully it'll take care of itself on race day. And if it doesn't, it doesn't, because I've got Valencia in December to look forward to.
Exactly.
And but yeah, I think it's going to be a really good challenge. It's a very different marathon to one that I would, normally we choose ones that are flat or you can be competitive on, but this one will be a real challenge, and I'm looking forward to, as we've said on this podcast before, going to the bottom of the well.
Yeah.
And trying to drag myself out, because come 20 miles, I'm going to be in a world of pain, I think. But looking forward to it. So yeah, Leeds Marathon 2025.
Yeah, and you are doing it with a mate, aren't you? You're taking
beardy mate.
Well,
Rich has subtly been sort of persuading me over the last 3 months or so. he just sort of keeps slipping Leeds into conversation. He's like, "Oh, Leeds has still got places left, might be quite good. There's lots of places to stay." And I feel like saying, "I'm not doing it. I'm not okay. I'll do it." Yeah. So Beardy Rich will be up there doing it as well.
Yeah.
And I don't think Rich has actually mentioned a time goal to me, but I know he wants revenge on the Newport Marathon, which was last year, which we both did. So I think he wants to beat his time there, which is about 3:37. And I know him, and he knows him. He wants to beat me. So that's the real race. That's the real big one.
Yes, definitely.
So, but no, it's gonna be really good running with Rich, and whatever he does, I'm sure he'll do really well.
Yeah.
And
he's running well at the moment as well, because he smashed out a new 5K PB at Parkrun on Saturday.
I'm worried. He's gonna run like a 2:55 in Leeds or something. He's gonna run something ridiculous. No, he is. He's running really, really well, and he's very quick over short distances, isn't he? He's 5 and 10K. He's really, really good, and half marathon as well. But yeah, he's because he's like a family man, and it's difficult for him to commit to the high mileage of marathon training. Yeah. I think that's maybe, but I mean, he did actually do it last year, but he got sick about 3 or 4 weeks just as he should have been peaking. He got this viral infection, and it took him all summer to recover from. So he's finally now getting back to his best. So I think if he can stay injury free, because I know he struggles with his hamstrings occasionally and stuff. He will have a really good race, I'm sure. But he's a good runner, Rich. He really is.
Yeah, he is.
And I love running with Rich, because every time we go to try and do a run together, we always say, right, let's take it nice and easy. And before we know it, heart rate's at 180, and we're only a K in.
Yeah.
Again, I love running with Rich, because at the end of every run, no matter if we've just done an ultra like we could touch on, or if we've just done a 5K around the block, he cannot help himself but do strides at the end, and he loves to just show everyone who's boss. So Beardy Rich, and he wants royalties from Jane Tomlinson as well, because they keep using his images for the Nottingham 10K. So if anyone's doing the Nottingham 10K, they've probably seen Rich. If you don't know who Beardy Rich is, he's the face of the Nottingham 10K, because he keeps being used on their advertising material. And but yeah, he's doing really well.
Brilliant.
And congratulations to him and Julia, by the way. They've just had a new baby this just over the Christmas period. And so it's great to see them all doing so well.
Yeah, amazing. As you said, we should probably touch on that, shouldn't we? I ran my first ever ultra. At the start of the year, we decided to bring in the new year with a 32-mile run.
What else are you going to
do? Just the thing you want just before you start the marathon block.
Exactly.
To go and run, But
a little bit of base training.
Yeah, that was a good day. I travelled over to Worcester, and you all met me there, and we start. What time did we start? 7 o'clock in the morning.
It was pitch black, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and we ran down the canal. Well, I say down, up the canal.
Yeah.
To Birmingham. So 50K.
Yeah.
32 miles. Well, just over 50K, wasn't it, in the end? 32 miles exactly I got. So
it's a good route, isn't it? It's tricky around, especially that middle section up around Tardybig. There's some and then with that detour we had to take around Alvechurch as well.
Yeah.
Up some of those hills on the roads.
Mm-hmm.
Because the canal towpath was shut, so we had to get off onto the road. And Brett was like, "Oh yeah, we can go this way." As soon as Brett says that, alarm bells start ringing. He's like, "Oh, I know this one. This is on my training routes."
Yeah, one of my Sunday long run routes. Yeah, it was. It's a good old hill, that, isn't it?
Yeah. So that was pretty tasty, that climb there.
And then we'd got quite a few miles in our legs by that point, and then I went, oh yeah, by the way, it goes down the same steepness that it goes up.
Oh,
and
yeah,
everybody was just chuckling as we were running down that hill because you just couldn't help but run fast.
No, because it's harder to try and stop yourself running fast, isn't it?
Yeah.
And by that point, you just like, right, let's just crack on. There's no point being cautious anymore.
Yeah.
So, and what shoes did you wear? Because that was pure comedy watching you navigate some of those muddy sections.
I almost ended up in the canal several times. Yeah, because it was proper snowy and icy on the ground, but then where it had started to defrost, it was proper slippy and muddy, weren't it?
Yeah.
I decided not to wear trail shoes because I've got a pair of trail shoes, but I didn't fancy running 30 mile in them. They're not the most supportive of shoes. So I just wore my my recovery day shoes, my Supernova Primas. And they've got some grip on the bottom, but not proper trail shoe grip. So yeah, they were slipping and sliding.
Did you how did you struggle or suffer with blisters? Because obviously they're not trail shoes, so they must have let a lot of water in. Did you feel were your feet in a decent state afterwards?
Yeah, perfectly fine. Not a issue at all. Yeah, really comfy.
You heard it here first then. Trail shoes, waste of time, waste of money. Just wear your road shoes.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So, but no, it was good fun, wasn't it? There was a good, I can't remember how many of us there were. It was about 6 or 7 of us, wasn't there?
Oh, and, talking of that, I've just thought of something that I found quite funny because I put a little clip on my, no, it wasn't my clip. It was your clip of us running onto Instagram. You shared it on your story, and then I shared it to my story and put time to buy some trail shoes. And Tommy D got in touch and went Nike Zagamas. And, and I responded
you just blocked him.
Yeah. Well, I responded with, I'm not sure I can move away from the 3 stripes. And he went, and his response was, I thought that exactly at the point where I pressed send.
He realised what he'd done straight away. Yeah. He realised he forgot who he was talking to. So talking to Tommy D, he has qualified for Boston.
Yes, he has.
And his training is well underway. I think he's doing the Red January, the run every day challenge. So I think he's doing that at the moment. And I wonder if he's just going to carry on running every day anyway until Boston. I don't know. But he's getting some serious volume in, isn't he?
Yeah.
And so good luck, Tommy D, for Boston. Obviously, I know it's a few months away, but
he needs to stop. I know it's hilly in Wales, but he needs to start running down them and start practicing running down and destroying his quads. For Boston.
Well, isn't the start or the first something like 5 miles or 10K, or isn't the start of it quite steeply downhill?
It's all downhill for the start, and it basically, because of all of that downhill, it destroys your quads. Yeah, and then you've got all the uphill at the end, but you've already got destroyed legs from the first half. So it's not necessarily the hills going up that is tough at Boston. It's all the downhill at the start.
Yeah. I think there's something about Boston, isn't there, what just makes having a good race there probably feel even sweeter, because it's such a tough old course. And don't they take you to the start in like those yellow school buses and stuff?
Yes.
And
because it's a point-to-point race, isn't it? It's not a loop.
Yeah.
So they have to take you out to the start. Yeah.
And I think as well, there's a Parkrun in Boston. So if you're there, because the race is always on a Monday, is that right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, because is it Patriots Day?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So for some people that are racing, and we might have said this last year, there's like 5 days recovery time between that and London if you're running the 2, isn't there?
Yes.
Or is it the other way? Is it after London? No, it's before, isn't it?
Before, yeah.
So you finish the race, lunchtime on a Monday, and then you've got back into the trenches, because on Sunday, if you're doing London as well, if you're crazy enough to do both in 1 week, with less than 7 days time, you're going again. So And talking of crazy, I think we should also mention Deegsy, the Worcester Kipchoge, Kieran Deegan, who did the Dopey challenge.
Oh, mate, it's that's on my bucket list, big time. I would love to go and do that.
Well, someone who's written in, I can't quite remember who it was. We'll get to it, but someone actually did the Dopey challenge as well,
awesome.
and they talked about it. But I mean, they said that, I think was it D who wrote in? I can't quite remember now, but they said that Disney is not the place to go to worry about you. No, what did she say? She said no one cares at Disney. It's just, no one cares about time at Disney. It's just all about running and having fun, enjoying it. And that just seems to be such a fun event. And let's not forget as well, there's a 5K, 10K and half marathon on consecutive days before you do the marathon, isn't there?
Yeah. I think if I'm right, the 5K and the 10K are on the same day. The half marathon's on the Saturday and then the marathon is on the Sunday. So to do the full Dopey challenge, you do all 4 races.
Yeah, that's pretty big, isn't it? It's pretty hardcore, and especially if, as a Disney fan, you're just going to be absolutely loving that, aren't you? You're going to be in absolute heaven.
Yeah.
So, but I bet it costs an arm and a leg, doesn't it?
Oh yes, yeah. I think it's something like, is it about 900 quid to enter the races?
Oh my God, I thought it was like 4. I didn't realise it was that much. So will you have to pay for a park pass, or surely that would get you in for the day?
I would
do you reckon you'd have to?
You would hope so, wouldn't you? But
I
don't know, because they start the marathon at stupid o'clock in the morning. Number one, because of the heat, but also to get you out of the park so people can go in.
God, it does sound pretty brutal, to be honest. It does sound. But some of the fancy dresses I've seen, and some of the, like, there's a picture of like Kieran just like posing with like Woody from Toy Story and stuff, and it just looks awesome. Just looks like a lot of fun. So I can imagine I can see why so many people go out and do it. But doesn't it sell out almost straight away?
Oh yeah, instantly. It's crazy. But
and it's the Florida one, not the Anaheim one. Is it Anaheim?
Yes, it's the
Florida one, isn't it?
No, the other one's in LA. But the LA one is Disneyland, and then Florida is Disney World.
Yeah.
Because there's only 2 parks at Disneyland, whereas at Disney World there's 4.
Yeah. Yeah. So speaking of crazy things to do, go and do the Dopey challenge, because that sounds pretty crazy, but it's a good way to start your year.
So it's $698 to enter the Dopey challenge. So that's more or less 650 quid, isn't it?
Yeah, these days a dollar's about the same as a pound, isn't it? It's not far off.
It's not far off.
Yeah. Was it you that was telling me about going to America as a Brit? You need to have a degree in further maths to just pay for a cup of tea, or not a cup of tea, but pay for something, because you've got to pay tax and tips.
Yeah. So when you go into a shop, the price that's on the shelf isn't the price you pay. Because you've got to add tax at the till. But different groups of items are taxed differently, so you've got to know what the tax rate is on each of them, or just go to the till and they'll tell you how much you owe.
Wait for the surprise.
Yeah, but it's mad. Yeah, so supermarkets in this country obviously have, with VAT added, that's the price on the shelf, but all of the prices are without tax in America.
And who are you tipping in America? Is it just the hospitality industry?
Well, this is a thing. It's a big old debate, isn't it? What tips should be and who needs to be tipped and things like that. It's a big thing. A big discussion going on. because the whole thing of how much you should tip, and what you are actually tipping for, because what does it actually mean, a tip? Is it a tip in the sense that we know that you tip someone extra for giving you a very good service, or is it just a given that you tip no matter what?
It's an unavoidable tax.
Yeah, basically, yeah. But
well,
it's part of it. The like what did you call it? The service industry.
Yeah.
Restaurants and stuff can get away with not paying minimum wage.
Yeah.
And then the servers make up their wage with tips.
Yeah.
But apparently, if they don't earn enough in tips to make minimum wage, the restaurant then has to top it up to minimum wage. But they can offer them a much lower rate than minimum wage because they know they're going to get tips.
So if you're really good waiter or waitress or whatever, you can make a career out of it. You
exactly.
Can be like
and that's why a lot of servers in America don't want the tip culture to go away and don't want to be paid minimum wage because they earn way more than minimum wage. So if they changed it that you get paid minimum wage, then they'd take a big pay cut. So that's where the big debate is, because people are saying a tip is a tip if you do exceptional service, whereas a lot of servers are saying, no, everyone should tip.
Yeah. I think it also works in an environment where things are not that expensive. But when things are already expensive and then you've got to add a tip as well.
Yeah. And that's where the discussion of how much tip you should give, because a lot of people say you should have a percentage of what your bill is. But if you're getting the same service as and you've spent a lot of money, but you're getting the same service as someone who's spent a small amount of money, why are you paying more for the same thing if it's a percentage of your bill? So say someone has $30 worth of stuff and they do 20% of the bill as their tip, or someone has $150 worth of stuff and they pay 20% of their bill. That's a big difference in tip, but they're getting exactly the same service.
Yeah. It's a big old hot potato, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. But this is a running podcast, by the way.
How much do you tip? Maybe let us an email. Let us know what the optimum tip should be. But I once went to Thailand, and over there. I mean, maybe things have changed now because it could have become westernized in some areas. But you sort of, I mean, back then when I went, things were sort of quite cheap anyway. You know, you get your bill for like a massive dinner you've just had, and it'd be like 12 quid. And you just give them like an extra $5 as a tip, and they give it you back. They're like, no. There's like the culture there was to not accept the tip because it's not necessary. They didn't need it, if you know what I mean. You just pay for what you paid. You know, you just paid for the product or the service. I guess it was included. Yeah, but it's a strange, because is it Reservoir Dogs where they talk? Their opening scene is Mr. Pink, Steve Buscemi.
Yes,
he's the only one that won't tip.
Yeah,
because he's like, you go to McDonald's, you're not going to tip the girl, are you? She's giving you exactly the same service. Yeah. And they're arguing over $1 or something like that, aren't they?
Yeah.
And he won't throw his dollar in or something. So, but anyway, like you said, it is a running podcast, and we've still got a lot to get through. So, yeah, where should we go next?
Oh well, shall I say? We all know what I'm doing in April.
Oh, but yeah. What are you doing in April?
Well, in April, I'm going down to London to have a bit of a stroll around the city. So yeah, I am running London Marathon, and Marathon Block has started. I am in week 2 of training.
Amazing.
So yeah, it's going all right. It's not bad at all. I'm happy with the way the block started. I have, in the first week, I hit 50 mile. And I'm hoping now to gradually increase mileage by 5 miles a week. Yeah. So with one deload week in the build, I'll hopefully hit, fingers crossed, about 100 mile for the peak week before we start taper.
That's a lot. That's a hell of a lot.
Hmm.
How are you feeling about that? Have you done a 100-mile week before?
No, maximum I've done was Manchester last year, where I think I did 92, 93, yeah. 92, 93. So yeah, it'll be a big mileage week for me. But I'm looking forward to it.
And will you still have your 2 days off that week?
That was a conversation I was having yesterday with someone of running 5 days a week. Yeah, running 5 days a week and trying to hit 100 mile. So what I'm either going to do is, towards the end of the build, I'm going to either start adding a double day. So like on a Thursday, run in the morning and do training in the evening, or add another day in. So maybe on a Wednesday, add an extra day of easy miles.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I don't know what the answer is really. That's what do I know? Because we're at such different ends of the spectrum when it comes to marathon training. But I would definitely opt for frequency rather than elongating your already quite long runs.
Yeah.
So I'd probably, and you think over the grand scheme of things, you'll only run that week or maybe 2 weeks, 7 days. It'll only be 14 days max on the trot. I think your body could handle that, and it might be a nice taper for you. Then it might be a nice that taper, that recovery might really. You'll really need it, won't you? After that amount.
Yeah. But no, I'm looking forward to it. And as I say, training's been good this week, as we've had some spicy old sessions this week. So yesterday's session, we ran down to Holloway Drive and we did 1.6 mile out at between 5k and 10k pace, 3 minutes jog recovery at the end, and then 1.6 mile back at 5k to 10k pace. So basically a broken 5k at 5 to 10k pace, and then after that we had a few minutes recovery, and then it was 630 meter efforts. And when I asked Andy, the coach, I said, are they efforts or strides? And he said a bit harder than strides. So they were efforts, basically.
Yeah.
And I was pretty pleased with that. I think I hit for the what's called the 2 long efforts, the 1.6 mile efforts, I think I hit just quicker than 10k pace. So I think I was running about 5:40 a mile ish. And then for the 130 meter efforts, I was doing them in about 21 seconds, which is about 4:25 a mile.
That's fast.
Pace. So yeah,
that's really fast
with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a good session, but it was especially good after Tuesday's session, which was a great. It is one I look forward to each year because we did it last year and and the year before, and it's a great session. So it is on the track. So it's the first time on the track this year, and it's 45 minutes of running non-stop.
Yeah.
But it's alternating 400s. So every time you do a lap, you alternate between 10k pace and target marathon pace. So your marathon pace becomes your float pace, basically, because you're running your efforts at 10k pace. And I ended up doing, in that 45 minutes, I just over 45 minutes, I ran 31 laps. And I was aiming for 86 seconds a lap for my 10k pace, which is about 5:45 a mile.
Yeah.
And then 96 seconds a lap for my marathon pace, which is 6:27 a mile. So 4k 4 minute K pace was my marathon pace.
Sub 25K. Yeah.
And I pretty much hit all of my 10K pace, 86 seconds laps. I hit pretty much all of them bang on 86. I think a couple of them were 87 seconds, but well happy with the effort laps. And then all of my target marathon pace laps, I ran too quick. Because when you finish that effort lap, you slow down and you think you've slowed down loads, and you get 200 meters in and you look at your watch and you're like, hang on a minute, I'm way too fast for where I should be. So yeah, pretty much all of my marathon pace laps I did way too quick. I was finishing them, I was supposed to be doing them in 96 seconds, and I was finishing in them around 92, 93 seconds. So yeah, it was good. But 45 minutes of non-stop running, and I covered, I think, 7.7 mile in that time. So yeah, pretty pleased. And I went through the 10K in 37:07. So yeah,
flipping out, man. That's a session and a half. Then what did you wear on your shoe? What did you wear on your feet?
I went for the Takumi 10s.
Yeah. So was there any doubt in your mind during that session, or did you just treat each lap like just run the lap you're in? Did you nearly want to quit, or did you get through it and just think?
it got obviously got a bit tougher towards the end, but I finished it feeling pretty good, and I'm really pleased with how sessions are all going at the moment. So
how many laps did you say?
31.
31 laps. Jesus Christ, mate. That's quite substantial. That's a big session. So was everyone just doing the same thing? Was everyone running the same session, or was that just what you were running?
Yeah. So there was I think there was about 25 of us down for that session, and we were all doing exactly the same session, but obviously at our own paces.
So because that's quite an intense session, did you say that's one that club only do once a year or once every 6 months?
It tends to be one that we do in January. Yeah.
To blow off the cobwebs, basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, God, that's if you're not already up to speed, because you did what, 8 miles? Did you say
7.7 mile?
So let's just say you did 8 miles. You did 4 miles at marathon pace, well, faster than marathon pace, and 4 miles at 10K pace. And is that current PB?
Yeah, so
10K pace or
5:45 a mile, which is my 10K PB pace.
So how did you feel the day after then? That must have been shattering. Was it not that bad?
All right. Obviously I have a rest day on a Wednesday, so that helped. But yeah, not too bad. I felt pretty good, to be honest. It was all right.
I presume you did a sizable warm up and
so because of that, I then went and did my half an hour on the cross trainer and did my S&C, and then ran home. So I ended up doing 15 mile of running that day on Tuesday.
So how fast did you run home? Easy?
Yeah, just easy. Yeah. Everything other than the sessions is easy.
5K pace.
Yeah.
I've got my Takumis on, I might as well. Yeah.
No, everything other than sessions is easy, because you want to focus the quality on the sessions, and then just get the volume in nice and easy.
So when you go to the gym as well, is the gym on site at the track?
Yes, yeah.
So you'll do everything in one shoe?
Yes.
So do you find it easy? Because I find it quite hard to run easy in my fast shoes.
I do as well.
So do you have to literally stop yourself from going too fast, or do you just go with it? If you run a little bit quicker than you should?
Yeah, if I run a little bit quicker than I should, I'd go with it. Let me have a quick look, because I know I ran a little bit quick home on the Tuesday. So after that session, we did a warm down, and we went quite slow for the warm down. But after I'd done the cross trainer and the gym work, felt pretty good. So I ran home at 8 minute miles, just over 8 minute miles.
Nice. Yeah.
So it was all right.
Cool. So was that the highlight session of the 2-week training block so far?
Yeah,
that one?
so far, yeah, that's a good session. We've got one coming up actually soon, which Andy calls the Paula Radcliffe session.
What's that?
It's rolling 200s. So you do 200 meters effort and then 200 meters in double the time you did the effort.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So is that on the track as well? That will be, or would that be on the road?
No, that one will be on the track as well.
So you do your Tuesday, Thursday sessions. Is one at track, one on the road?
No. So generally, winter time, we will generally do all of our sessions on the road, but every now and then there'll be a track session thrown in here and there.
Oh, so you won't run on the track every week then?
No.
Right. Okay.
No. So that's the first time since winter has appeared that we've done a session on the track.
So next week it will be back on the road.
Yeah. And
both Tuesday, Thursday. Yeah.
I would have thought so. Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I think it's half the street on Tuesday. So that's like a 800 meter loop around a factory estate.
Is that the famous loop, the Arthur Street loop?
Yeah, the Arthur Street loop. Yeah, where Yarrow goes and does marathon sessions and runs 20-mile round Arthur Street. It's a half a mile loop. It's a half a mile loop, so he does like 40 laps when he was doing his marathon sessions around there. But because it's a half mile loop, 800 meters. It is. Anyone doing marathons or half marathons will be doing double loops. So we'll be doing mile reps.
Yeah. Is anyone else from club doing London?
Yeah, a few people are doing London actually. Yeah, there's quite a few, and then there's a couple people doing other races as well. So a few of the lads are doing Newport, which is actually earlier than London this year. It's a couple of weeks before London, and then a couple of lads are doing Edinburgh.
Yeah. Was it us two that were trying to remember, or was it Mac? Or maybe it was all three of us. We couldn't remember what 3 races are on London Day. And the answer is Stratford is on Manchester.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's 3. Yeah. There's, well, for anyone that doesn't know where Stratford, everyone knows where Stratford upon Avon is. That's the other marathon that's going on. I mean, I'm sure there are maybe others, but it's a fairly big one around here, the Stratford, because I think it's on something called the Greenway.
Yes,
which I think is not the easiest surface to run on, and a lot of people moan about it.
Inspiring of running.
Yeah, so that is a bit of a Marmite race, I think, and I think it's looped as well. So not the easiest, but that the Stratford Marathon and half, I think, is on the same day as London and Manchester. So well, that's exciting. What shape? Just quickly. What shape will your graph be? What shape do you want it to be? For your
training,
for your volume. Yeah.
It'll be hopefully like that with a little dip for a deload week in the middle and then down for taper.
So just one deload week.
Yeah.
And it's 15 weeks you're doing.
Yes. So there's 12 weeks of build and 3 weeks of taper with a deload week in the middle of the build.
I've never even thought to do that because I always put 2 deload weeks in. No, maybe it's not the time now to start trying new things. Maybe I'll,
see, I was thinking about putting 2 deload weeks in, but if I do, then I won't hit my 100-mile peak by adding 5 miles each week. So
is that I was going to.
Yeah, just the thing in my head when if you want to hit 100-mile, you need 11 weeks of build. Well, you need the first week to be on 50, 10 weeks of build to get to 100, and you've got a deload week before taper.
And I presume
3 weeks taper.
Sunday long runs are going to be very much back, and they're going to be sort of minimum 16 mile or something like that, are they? Or
Sunday just gone, I did 14. I think I'm going to do about 15 this week. And then, it'll start being like 16 and up.
Yeah.
Get that 2 hours of running in.
Are you going to just try and keep working marathon pacing like as the weeks
gradually.
go on?
Yeah, gradually.
Yeah. Well, as we're talking about London, do you want to mention the hype surrounding it?
Oh yes, what a field!
It's
What an elite field!
It's being billed as maybe the race, the mother of all races, because the names that are lining up in the male and the female categories are pretty big, including, not in the elite field, Paula Radcliffe's back.
Oh yes, she's running Boston. I think it is.
No, is she not doing London?
No, she's not running London. I think she's running Boston, and there's another marathon as well that she's doing, but she's not doing London. Paula Radcliffe.
I'm sure she was advertised as doing London this year.
No.
Okay, fair enough. Well, she's making her return, isn't she? Because she's had 10 years away.
Yeah, I think she's training and going to go for the over 50s Masters Ladies record. That's what I reckon she's going to try and do. Because she is over 50 now, isn't she?
I think she's 51. I'm sure I read.
Yeah.
So and what? Yeah. So have you got a list of?
Yes. So should we go for the women first? The women first? So
I'm just watching it.
In the elite women, first up we've got Perez Chepchirchir, who hasn't got the fastest PB, but is the first name down on the list because she is the reigning London Marathon champion. Yeah. So she is going back to try and defend her title, which should be good. And what you've also got to bear in mind is the people who have got a faster PB than her have been in paced races, whereas London Marathon, for the women, it's not a paced race. It is ladies only race because they set off before the men. So it's a very different race. It's because they're not being paced. It'll be a very different race. So second up is Ruth Chepengetich, who is the current world record holder, the first woman to ever break 2:10. So her PB is 2:09.56. Then we've got Tiggs de Seffer, who was the world record holder, who ran 2:11.53 at Berlin. And then this one's exciting. We've got Sifan Hassan coming back, the Olympic champion.
Loves that woman. She's just the great. I just love her so much. I think she's brilliant.
She's ace.
Brilliant runner.
And then we've also got Joycelyn Jepkoskai. And then who else have we got? So those are the big 5 names, but we've also got Charlotte Purdue as our top British runner racing, who we're going to go into this probably in a bit, but has left Adidas and has moved to Puma. So, interesting move there. So we'll see how she goes. We've also got Rose Harvey running, which I think is Rose the one who decided to run the Olympic marathon with a stress fracture in her thigh.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that was her. She didn't realise till afterwards, did she? She knew she was something wasn't right, but she carried on. Yeah.
So she's running. Philly Bowden is running. And then we've also got a few other British girls. We've got Lucy Reed, Louise Small, and Holly Archer, who are all running. So it's quite an exciting field for the women at London.
Yeah.
But the men's field.
Just quickly, by the way.
Yeah.
You were right. It's Tokyo and Boston she's doing.
Yeah.
Paula Radcliffe. Yeah. So I don't know how quickly within time frame they are. Is one's March, isn't it? Tokyo's March, I think. Or is that April as well?
No, I think Tokyo's a bit later than that, isn't it?
Oh, I thought it was Tokyo's the first major of the year. But either way, she's not doing London. I thought she was. That was the headline I read.
Yeah.
Paula Radcliffe to return to the home of the marathon. So I thought, oh, it's doing London.
Yeah,
It's not, is it? Home of the marathon's Boston. Yeah.
But the elite men field for London. Oh man,
it's mouth-watering, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So we've got Alex Matusio. No, Alex Mutiso. Sorry, who is the current London Marathon champ. So he's coming back to defend his title. We have then, this is in order of PB. We have, and this is super exciting, we have the GOAT.
Yes.
Mr. Eliud Kipchoge is coming
You're
back.
You're going to be lining up. Is there a switchback anytime so you might run past him?
Yes. Yeah. You're
going to pull your shorts up and say, Eliud, I've got your face on my leg. You're like that scene out of Alan Partridge. I painted 3 times. I am such a big head. Oh, I'd love it if you could get a picture of Eliud and your leg.
Yeah. But yeah, so Kipchoge is coming back. Now, a lot of people are saying, come on, don't be silly. He's not going to come back and win it. He's had some terrible marathons in the last couple of races. He had his first ever DNF at the Olympics, but he was carrying in an injury for that. So yeah, a lot of people are saying, look, he's not going to be challenging for the win, especially with the young guys that he's running against. But how amazing would it be if he just came and smashed it out of the park?
Oh. It would be.
But I think though his big target is the over 40s Masters record, which is currently held by Bekele from last year's London, and I think he's
racing as well.
No, he's not. He's not running London, right. But I think that's Kipchoge's target because it'll be his first ever race being over 40.
Yeah.
So then we got Sebastian Sawe with a PB of 2:02:05. Timothy
Valencia winner.
Yes. Then we got Valencia. Timothy Kiplagat, who's got a PB of 2:02:55. Milkesa Mengesha, who's got a PB of 2:03:17. We've got Tamrat Tola, who won the Olympics with a PB of 2:03:39. Mohamed Essa, 2:04. Abdi Nagai, who won. I think he came third in the Olympics, but he won. What was the marathon he won towards the end of last year? I can't remember, but he won one. We've got Hillary Kipkoech, 2:04. Emmanuel Petros, 2:04. But then the other big names we've got Andy Buchanan, who is the Australian record holder now, which he got at Valencia of 2:06:22. And then our British boys, we've got Emil Caress, who ran 2:06:46 last year at London. Then we've got Mohammed, who ran 2:07 at London last year. We've got another Oz runner, Brett Robinson, who did hold the Australian record until Andy Buchanan took it off him this year. So he'll be there to try and take that record back. We've got Phil Sessamon coming back again. He's got a PB of 2:08.
Who's just moved?
Oh yes, he's also just moved from Adidas. He has moved to Asics, so that's a big move. It's a bit mad.
Yeah.
But then we got Johnny Mellor with 2:09. Dowie Griffiths with 2:09. We've got Wayne Gabriselassie with 2:09. Jake Smith 2:11. Jack Rayner is the other Oz runner, 2:11. Mark Scott is coming back to 11. Luke Coldwell to 11. Dan Nash is running it after his big PB, so he'll be on the elite start after running 2:12 at Valencia.
Yeah.
And then we've got so many more GB names running. And some we should probably mention are Alex Yee, who will be making his debut from the triathlon.
I'm excited. What's your little bit of knowledge about him? Because what is quite impressive. He's not always been a triathlete, has he?
No, he started off as just a runner, but then got into triathlon. Afterwards.
Yeah. So he could do something massive, couldn't he?
He could.
At this marathon.
People are saying that he could be up there with Emil Caress. So yeah, that could be really exciting.
If he's on your shoulder with 800 to go, you wouldn't fancy yourself, would you?
No, you wouldn't. No, definitely not. And the other one, the other GB debut that we should mention is Jack Rowe, who won Telford 10K.
Wow. So he's a Puma runner, isn't he? He's yeah, because I remember him winning the Telford 10K and smashing Phil Sessamon. I'm thinking just the level of speed seeing those people come past me was crazy. So yeah, that's exciting. That is exciting. Yeah. So what is he? Did you say that's his marathon debut, Jack Rowe, or is he?
Yeah, Jack Rowe. Yeah, it's his debut. Yeah, we've got 4 British guys making their debut.
Is Eilish McColgan racing?
Oh yes, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, Eilish McColgan's making her debut. I completely forgot about that. That's why I didn't read her, because she's right at the bottom of the list because it's her debut, so she hasn't got a PB.
I'm pretty sure, was it right that last year she was injured?
Yes.
And the year before she had a sponsorship clash.
Yes.
And last minute she had to pull out because of a supplement. Was it SIS?
Yeah, SIS, yeah. Basically, they wouldn't allow her to have her logo on her vest.
And she's not allowed to race without it, basically.
Well, because London Marathon is sponsored by Lucasade, and they didn't want a pro having a competitor's logo on their vest.
Wow.
So yeah,
what a shame. What a shame.
That was interesting. But yeah, she's making her debut, so that should be exciting as well to see where she comes in there. But the other guy who I should probably say about with their debut is Jacob Kiplimo, who is the world record holder for the half marathon. The Ugandan. He is making his full marathon debut at London. So it is super stacked and it's proper exciting. I cannot wait to see what happens.
God, I mean, there's so many runners there that have run like 2:02, 2:01. Like, could it be the race where somebody goes sub 2?
Oh, I don't know. The next fastest after Kipchoge is Sebastian Sawe, who's run 2:02.05. 2 minutes and 5 seconds is a fair old amount to take off your marathon. So I don't know.
You look at what Kiptum did though, and you just think maybe someone will explode onto the scene like he did. Like you just, it's almost getting to a point now where you just can't predict these marathons anymore because you don't know who's someone you've never even thought of.
Yeah,
will come into the picture maybe.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
Maybe Emil Caress will do the business. Imagine that.
Hopefully he'll get down with them. He'll be in that front pack. You never know. Fingers crossed.
Has a Brit, because obviously Paul has won it for the girls, but has a British man ever won the London Marathon?
I think, I think so. In the early days, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm sure Gary Manders will be screaming at his screaming now because he knows the history of all British running. But
exactly. But it makes you think, because what you were saying, like if Kiplimo is the world record holder for the half, what could he do over the full?
Yeah,
I know it's a completely different beast, and you don't have to pace yourself as much for a half. You can go a bit more all out, but at the same time, if he's the world record holder, then he's got the pace in his legs, hasn't he? So
I've got something here. The last British man to win the London Marathon was Eamon Martin, who's the last British man to win the London Marathon in 1993. Martin won the race in a sprint finish against Isidro Rico of Mexico with a time of 2:10:50. So no British man has won since 1993. So yeah, come on, Emil or Alex or Johnny Mella or any of them. Could be all of them. So
yeah, but that's proper exciting. But yeah, so London, I cannot wait. It's proper got me excited.
I'm mega excited for you.
But on the results side, because there's been some big results recently, there was the Valencia 10K at the start of the year, which was next level again. We had the winner breaking the European record, and the first 3 across the line broke 27 minutes, which is just crazy. But yeah, Andreas Almgren from Sweden, he ran 26:53.
That was disgraceful.
10K on the road.
Oh God.
But yeah, that's a new European record. Yeah, crazy. So second was Dominic Lokinyomo from Switzerland, and he ran 26:54. And then Vincent Kibet Langat was third from Kenya with 26:55.
Yeah.
But yeah, amazing. But what we do need to mention about the Valencia 10K was we had a new British record run by Rory Leonard, who is a member of the quite recently formed Team Macau, which is a Hoka or Hoka, however you want to say it, team. And he ran a new British record of 27:38. And that knocks Mo Farah and Emile Caress off the road 10K top, basically. So they both ran 27:44. Mo Farah ran that at the Vitality 10K in 2010, and Emile Caress ran it at Valencia 2022. So the previous record was 27:44, but Rory Leonard knocked 6 seconds off and ran 27:38.
Now I read that someone else broke the would have been British record.
Yeah, so
because
Charlie Wheeler.
Yeah.
So Charlie Wheeler, who is a Kiprun sponsored athlete.
Yeah.
So he's running in Decathlon super shoes. One of the Wheeler brothers, he ran 27:42. So he ran 2 seconds quicker than Emile Caress and Mo Farah.
He would have got a British record.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Rory Leonard running 4 seconds in front of him.
Wow. Imagine running a British record and not even running a British record.
I know. It's mad, isn't it? But yeah, some other good British results. So Alex Yee was running there, and he ran 28:07. Phil Sessamon ran 28:10. Zach Mohammed ran 28:13. Alfie Manthorpe ran 28:14. Mark Scott ran 28:16. Ellis Cross run 28:24. Yeah, just some amazing running.
This Alfie Manthorpe keeps coming up on my socials, and I think it's because he's not sponsored, or he's not contracted, or he's not technically a pro athlete. Is that right?
I think so, something like that. Yeah.
And he's mixing it with the best there, isn't he?
He's a young up and coming, very good runner.
He is quite young as well, isn't he? I'm pretty sure he's early 20s.
He was born in 1999.
25. 6. Yeah. Well, he's technically 25 unless his birthday was last week.
No, it's September. His birthday is. So, yeah, it's exciting. British running is really up there now.
Yeah, that's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. By the way, we've got one shout out to the Valencia 10K.
Oh, that's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah.
About Chloe.
Well, yes, go for it.
Chloe Hamard, who obviously we had on just before Christmas, who did the Valencia half marathon. She loves the warmer climates. She just anything to not come back to Shrewsbury. So she ends up entering all these exotic races and just keeps smashing them.
Yeah.
So she ran a 36-second PB over there at the 10K in 37:50, and she did it in an average pace on Strava anyway of 3:45 a kilometer. And knowing Chloe, like I think I know Chloe, I bet you she didn't deviate from her race plan within like 2 or 3 seconds. In fact, I've got her things here, so
yeah, I bet her splits are even as they come, aren't they?
Yeah, so she did it in what did I say, 3:45 a k. So yeah, let's have a look. Oh, it's just perfection. 3:47, 3:44, 47, 47, 46, 46, 46, 43, 3:40. So like a 5-second negative split because everything was just so neat and tidy.
Amazing.
That is absolutely what a race. She's a great runner, Chloe is, and she's onto big things, and I hope she has a really good 2025. So very well done to you, Chloe. That's an excellent
great
run.
work. Great work.
Yeah. So what else have we got to chat about?
Well, I've got down here just a quick one about Adidas losing some big runners. Because obviously sponsorships tend to run with Olympic cycles.
Yeah.
So a lot of people will have been sponsored up until the end of this Olympics. So starting in 2025, the new Olympic cycle starts. So they'll be either renegotiating contracts with the same sponsor or changing contracts. So some people are sticking with their same sponsor. So like Josh Kerr has just signed with Brooks up until 2034. So he's just signed another 10-year deal. Well, 9-year deal with Brooks, which is pretty mad. So the next 2 Olympic cycles, he is definitely going to be running for Brooks, which is pretty awesome. But Adidas seem to be losing quite a few high-profile people. So Phil Sessamon, who has always been an Adidas-sponsored athlete, has made the move to Asics, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. As we said, Charlotte Purdue has moved from Adidas to Puma. But what was a bit confusing for me with that one is her company, Purdue Performance, is an Adidas-sponsored company. So how does her move to Puma affect her like coaching business?
Does everything just move over? Does it?
Yeah, I don't know, because they're still advertising as Adidas sponsored like coaching, but she now runs for Puma, so that's going to be interesting to see what happens there. And along the same lines as that is one of the founders of Tin Man Elite, who is one of the big Adidas teams.
Yeah.
Drew Hunter has signed for Asics, so he is no longer an Adidas sponsored athlete. So what that means for Tin Man Elite, I do not know.
What's going on? Like,
I don't know. And Sam Parsons, who is the other founder of, so there's 3 people who started Tin Man Elite. One was Drew Hunter, one was Sam Parsons, and he's just announced on Instagram that he is no longer sponsored by Adidas. Whether he gets whether he renegotiates and gets a new sponsorship, I do not know. But I know he wants to. but we'll see. And the other one is Reed Fisher, who I guess will continue to be sponsored by Adidas because he's been doing quite well recently. So he will continue to be an Adidas athlete, I would have thought. But that means 2 out of the 3 like founders of Tin Man Elite are no longer Adidas runners. So
it's like Top Gear. It's never going to be the same, is it?
No. No.
It's like once people start moving over. I mean, Tin Man can't exist as, we can't. Not that I don't really watch that channel much, but they can't just get new presenters in because the main reason you watch it is for those people, I guess, or because of those.
Yeah, for that
those
team,
runners. Yeah, for that team. Yeah. So, where does that leave? There must. I don't know.
I don't know. And if Tin Man Elite continue to be an Adidas team, Drew Hunter's not changing coaches because his coach is his mom, and she's her co-coach, support coach is his dad. So Drew Hunter's coaches are his mom and dad, who work for Tin Man Elite, who are an Adidas company. So if they continue to be an Adidas sponsored team, can he still be a member of Tin Man Elite, being sponsored by ASICS? Or is there going to be this big reveal of Tin Man Elite moving over to ASICS? I really don't know.
I guess it'd be a bit like, and I'm not trying to spread fake news here, but like if Nick Bester did a similar thing, there's lots of people with his kit in circulation. Would all that kit have to be destroyed because it's no longer an Adidas, franchise? If you know what I mean.
I suppose it's old kit, isn't it? So it is what it is, and it was it's a bit like a football shirt. A certain player would have their name on the back of the shirt. You'd buy that shirt. After they've left the club, you wouldn't then destroy the shirt because they did play for them at some point.
Yeah.
And it's old kit, so it'd have old, like the football kit would have old sponsors and it'd be the old seasons kit, wouldn't it? So the same as running kit, it's the old seasons stuff.
Yeah. Interesting.
But
merry-go-round, isn't it? But it just feels a bit like Adidas in the last year have started to be a bit more community focused, haven't they? They do a lot of elites like this Road to Records and things like that, and they're seeming to invite people to these, press and PR things. They're moving away from not that they were ever similar to Nike, but Nike have just got closed doors and no one ever really knows what goes on behind the Nike kind of HQ.
Yeah.
But at least, Adidas aren't like that, but they're going a little bit more like the other brands now who are starting to go towards the community rather than the athletes, I guess.
Yeah. They have still got some major athletes though. They are one of the big brands, so they have still got some great
if they start losing Messi and Jude Bellingham and their real top earning stars, David Beckham and that, then you think something might be going wrong here. But until then, the shoes are still going to end up on podiums, aren't they? And
well, what's his name? Tamrat Tola, who won the Olympics. He's an Adidas athlete. Tiggs Desefa, who was the world record holder. She's an Adidas runner. Emile Caress, the best British marathon runner. He's still Adidas. So, they have still got some big names. It's just, a lot of people seem to be moving away, but I'm not sure why.
Yeah. Interesting. I wonder if it's anything to do with, it can't be anything to do with the kit, can it? But I don't know. Like, it's just funny that this super shoe that's the answer to everyone's questions comes along, like the Evo, and all of a sudden they can't keep their top performing athletes. Because you'd think they'd all be begging to wear that on their feet if it gives you results. And don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah, I know. It's interesting.
And now Phil Sessam's in a pair of Nova Blasts.
But I did hear someone say about Phil Sessamon that it could be down to the bonuses you get for breaking PBs and breaking records and stuff with ASICs, because apparently ASICs are quite big on the road scene. They back quite a lot of road racing. They're not as track focused. They're more road based, and because he is a road runner, and they do good bonuses for breaking your PB and stuff. I think that could be one of the reasons.
Yeah, and I wonder if this has all happened because the Olympics have gone now, and then maybe in 4 years there's a new one to aim for.
That's the thing. That's the sponsorships always go with the Olympic cycle. So after the Olympics, that's when negotiations for contracts start again. They're normally 4-year contracts. Yeah.
Well, it's a bit of a merry-go-round, isn't it? And maybe they're making space for the Elesmore.
Yes, please, Adidas, if you are listening, I am open for negotiations.
Yeah, man, announcing our new athlete, Brenda Elesmore. That got some that got some good reactions on Instagram today when I put a picture of me and you.
Yeah. Talking of Instagram, should we go through those?
Yes. So a bit earlier, I put on a story saying let us know what you're training for. And we had, quite a fair few responses. So I thought I'd just read out in order of people that wrote to us. So apologies if I can't read your Instagram handle properly, but we'll start with Stewie Walker, who says the Liverpool half, Manchester Marathon, Chester half, and then Bolton Ironman 70.3. That's an impressive spring, isn't it? That's just his spring plans. That's, in fact, in my book, that's showing off Stewie, to be honest. Finishing off after all that. An Ironman. Flipping hell. Maybe that's later on in the year, I don't know. But fair play. That's enough races for a year, let alone a season. So Liverpool half, Manchester Marathon, Chester half, and Bolton Ironman. Fair play.
Yeah. So am I right in thinking the 70.3 is the half Ironman? It's not the full one. It's the one where you run the easy one.
The kids one.
Yeah, it's the one where you run a half marathon at the end, isn't it? So it's half the distance of all the Ironman.
And it's a 50-mile cycle, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. It's still crazy, but mental. You're mental, Stewie. But that's a good thing.
The training that must have to go on, because we're always going, I'm so tired from running one of the disciplines, let alone swimming and cycling as well. Imagine finishing your long run on a Sunday and thinking, I've got to go for a mile swim now, and then I'm going to go and do 50 mile on the bike for training. That's absolute carnage. But I wonder if training for an Ironman is more about frequency, time on feet, and time in exercise, time under tension. I wonder if it's just never ever recovering and relaxing because it's stressing your body out. Maybe, I don't know. But so we've also got the next one. It was Freddie Runs. So a lot of you might follow Freddie on YouTube, who says he's off to Manchester, where I'll probably be proving that runner is too optimistic. It says 3:52. So I think I've heard that before. I think runner are quite optimistic with their calculated finishing times. With Freddie, we're not for 1 second saying,
you won't
3:52 is out of reach. No, well, that's not what we're saying. But I think I've heard from other people that runner has got a habit of saying, you can do a sub-3 marathon. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
But maybe it's on, Freddie. Maybe 3:52 is your max potential, and that's what it's reading from your.
It's a bit like results. My Coros app at the moment says that I should be running a 2:42 marathon.
2:42. Wow.
No, I'm not going to be anywhere close to that.
My Garmin's gone down actually since it's been a bit of a heavy Christmas for me. It says my marathon's back to 3:20:47, which would be a PB. So I'll take that.
Yeah, exactly.
But Freddie, best of luck with Manchester and training. I know training's already underway for you, and go and check Freddie out on YouTube if you don't already. This one is from Luke or LH. He said, Manchester Marathon's coming up for me, but I'm currently injured, so hoping to ease myself back in shortly. And we've just seen that he's gone out for a 5K tonight. So I hope that injury is easing up for you, mate. But you've still got a way to go for Manchester. Yeah. Nick Points, who's written in before, says he's doing Manchester again, and he's targeting a 3:30. So you'll be looking at 5-minute Ks or 8-minute mile, 8-meter miling for that, or sort of 7:58s. Tough time to beat, but I'm sure you can do it.
Definitely. Braz John says, just done a marathon last Sunday, backyard ultra in March. Oh man, do you know what a backyard ultra is?
Yeah, that's the every lap, every hour.
Yes, you do a lap.
4 mile. Yeah. Is it 4 or 6? I think it's 4 miles, isn't it?
Yes.
And you can choose how much recovery time you have. So do you go quick, or do you have
you've just got to get that lap done in that hour. Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty hardcore. And I spoke to John earlier, and he's just done the Madeira marathon. As I've never been to Madeira, but I've seen pictures of it, and it looks very, very hilly. I think it was a Funchal marathon he did. So very well done for that. Who's next? Ian MCFC. He says,
MCF6.
Yeah, he says, heading to Manchester in April. Cannot wait. Chasing 3:15. Any tips for managing the course?
Well, it's a pretty flat course, so don't go off too quick thinking that it's flat. Just pace yourself. Have in mind what you need to be going through halfway in, and make sure you hit that. Don't go too fast, because that's a recipe for disaster. Save a little bit for Altrincham, and that small slope that's there.
Yeah, he can't say it, Ian. It's a hill.
Yeah,
he won't admit it, but it is. It's a hill.
No, save something for Altrincham and that hill, and just enjoy every step of it. That's what I'd say.
Yeah. And I think as well with marathons, I think a big thing about it is, unless this is what you're deliberately setting out to do, don't worry so much about what people around you are doing. So if people are going off fast at the start, if it's faster than what you've been trained at, it'd be a very bad idea to follow them. Just let them do it. You'll probably be overtaking them later on in the race.
Yeah.
Or they're going for a 2-hour 10 marathon. So don't worry about people that's shooting off, but just try and do your own thing, run your own race, and don't worry too much about what others are doing.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. Yeah. Run your race. Don't run anyone else's. Yeah. Tom tries to run, has said Manchester Marathon, my first marathon too, aiming for between 3:30 and 3:40. So best of luck with that. I'm sure you've got it in the bag.
Yeah, well, that happened to me last year. I ran 3:36 in Newport. I think in miles it was about 8:20 average. I think I ended up with. In Ks it was about 5:05. So that's probably what you'll be looking at per kilometer. So just crack on with it. It's going to be hard, and but just enjoy, embrace the chaos, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's the thing. We have got to stress, marathons are not easy. They are hard. They are really hard. So if you are running a marathon, you're incredible. No matter what pace you run at or anything, they are hard. No matter what pace you run.
Yeah. The next one was from Stods84, and he says, Manchester Marathon. Is anyone not doing Manchester? You can all run together, all you lot.
Yeah.
Looking for 3:15 to attack a good for age at London 40 to 44 category in the next year or two. So 3:15. That's pretty much where I'm hoping to be this spring as well. So maybe me and you will be running similar sort of training.
About 7:15 a mile, somewhere around there.
So what's the half split for that? About 1:35 or something like that. 1:37. So
1:37 and a half. Yeah,
it's about 7:10, 7:15 a mile. So it's about 4. Yeah, it's about 4:30 a k, isn't it? Something like that. 4:35 maybe. 4:25 maybe. But that's a lofty goal. But fair play. Thanks for writing in.
Yeah, Tina Ashdown Fit says Manchester Marathon in April. Let's go.
Now Tina has got an amazing ethos when it comes to marathons. I'm pretty certain if you look at Tina Ashdown Fit is her Instagram. Have a look at her page, because unless she put it on as a story, a while ago she published her marathon story. She's done 3 marathons, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tina. Every single one of them she's got faster, and every single one of them she's negative splitted.
Yep. It's mental.
That's crazy. That is madness. Most people will aspire to negative split just one and then retire. But that's just the way Tina runs marathons. So fair play, Tina. And hopefully Manchester this year is no different. So all the very best.
Yes,
with that
definitely.
One. We've got Lars Eric, who says he's doing Rotterdam in April. Now, that's one that's on my radar. I'd love to have a go at Rotterdam because I've heard really good things about that. People run some really fast times there, don't they?
Yeah. This could be Rotterdam or anywhere, Liverpool or Rome.
Great song.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, that does sound good, Rotterdam.
Yeah.
Lisa Duke Thomas. So Lisa from B&R, she's training for London Marathon, but on the bike, as she's currently injured. She is smashing away at the Watt bike sessions at the moment because she is injured and she can't run. So she's getting in those sessions, but on the bike. So fingers crossed you can keep that fitness going and take it into London.
Is that one of the most frustrating times of your life you can remember as a runner, where you could only cycle and you couldn't run?
Yep. As a runner, all you want to do is run, and when you can't, it's the worst thing ever. I genuinely enjoy cycling when I want to cycle. When I don't want to cycle, it's the worst. It's like torture because all you want to do is get out running, but you can't. So it's the only thing you can do.
Can you get some good aerobic gains? Can you do some good?
Oh yeah, you can get some really good sessions in, and because it's not because you haven't got any that impact, you can put a lot of work in. You can do some really big sessions, and so it will definitely work. It's just especially as she's doing it all at the moment, not on an actual bike, she's doing it all on a Watt bike, so on a static bike. So
in the conservatory, that's even harder.
At the gym,
at the gym, so just fair play.
Staring out of a window or staring at a wall for a couple of hours. So but best of luck, Lisa, and hope your injury does clear up soon.
Next one's from Gaz Dunn, and he says he's just doing shorter stuff this spring. Amsterdam Marathon is the target for October.
Ooh,
best of luck for the autumn. Amsterdam is a lot of fun.
Yes. Rich Woolley 27 says Brighton half and Iron Bridge. Any advice on the course? Heard the wind is a big factor.
I assume that's for Brighton.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I've done the Brighton Marathon, and the day I did it, it wasn't too bad. And I'd been warned about the crosswinds and that, the winds that obviously come in from the south or whatever it is. I don't know. What advice can you give to someone running in the wind? Just suck it up. There is no advice, really. You've just got to get up. I think most of us, well, me anyway, I think the wind is the one element of the weather that I like the least. I don't mind snow, don't mind the rain, don't mind the fog, even the heat. But the wind, the resistance that the wind gives is not very pleasant at all. So I just hopefully it's a circular course, so that headwind will soon become a tailwind and vice versa. So hopefully
sometimes the wind dictates where you're going to run. You don't choose where you're going; it tells you where you're going.
Yeah, hopefully on your final sprint you've got a tailwind. That's all I can say.
Fingers crossed.
But no, just give it an extra few percent, give it some beans, and hopefully you'll be the wind. That's that's what you want to be. You want to be the wind. So that's the advice. Andrew Herbert has said he's doing the Bath half on the 16th of March. Now, the Bath half is one I've always wanted to have a crack at, but I feel like it sells out within 8 seconds.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, because that looks like a good race as well. And Bath is an amazing place to visit. So I imagine it's a equally brilliant place to run around. So yeah, best of luck, Andrew, who's doing the Bath half in 16th of March.
Yes. And then Matty MCR 89, he's aiming for a sub 4 at Manchester Marathon in my 3rd attempt. Could do with a Brenda pacer.
Couldn't we all? Couldn't we all, Matty? It was Matty who said that you were a 6-pointer or something.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So,
unfortunately, I am. I'm not up north on that day. I'll be down south. So but you've got it, Matty. You can do it, no problem.
Yeah. It's if the stars align and you get the training in, the sub 4's on definitely, mate. It's a brilliant. Just visualize that feeling. That finish line sprint. I don't know what the road is. It's Talbot Road in Manchester. I don't know what the road's called when you run down to the finish line. Just visualize yourself. Just keep playing that over in your mind. And just.
Although it won't finish there this year because it finishes in the city centre this year.
Oh, it's the university now, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. We'll keep visualizing the university then. But no, it's just a case of just trying to stay on pace as much as you can, try and battle those demons. And you've done it 3 times, so it's hopefully it's an eventuality. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. And as they say with like money, if you look after the pennies, the pounds will look after themselves. It's a bit like that with running marathons. If you look after the training, the race will look after itself.
Yeah.
So get that training in, make sure it's quality, and the race will be yours for the taking.
So the next one here is from Sam King, who we met down at Bushy 1000.
Yes, we did, yeah.
And Sam has said he's doing Manchester as well. Deferred from last year because of injury, and it's his first marathon in 13 years.
Whoa.
Sam's on some good form as well. So Sam, I wish I could remember exactly what he ran, but he ran a half marathon at Oxford, I think it was. And I think he ran it in about 1:20. I can't remember what it was, but it was a quick marathon, and he did really, really well. And he built up, and it was just after we'd seen him in August, and he was obviously on the road to Oxford then. And if you can carry that fitness in to Manchester, mate, who knows? Sky's the limit. So yeah, best of luck for your marathon. Unlucky for some, as they say, 13 years. First marathon in 13 years. Good luck, Sam.
Yes.
We've got another one here from Dom Dietrich, who said he sent us a message a couple of weeks ago, which I did reply to him earlier because I didn't realise that we hadn't seen his message.
Sorry, Dom.
And he's ended up backdating all of our podcasts, and he's listening to them all from the start. He's currently on episode 41, and he's doing Manchester as well because he's got unfinished business with the Manchester Marathon. So good luck to you, Dom.
Fantastic. Oliver J. Charles, and he says, my second marathon, Manchester, after completing Brighton in 2024. Love the pod. So second marathon, Manchester, you are going to love it. If you enjoyed Brighton, then you will love Manchester. Definitely.
Yeah. I'd say Manchester is better than Brighton in terms of crowd support and the buzz of the runners on race day. Brighton, don't get me wrong, Brighton was brilliant, and it will always hold a special place in my heart because it was my first ever one. But I think Manchester just pips it. It really is a really good marathon. Running Ben 74, has said he's doing the Cambridge half and then London Marathon. Now, that sounds like two pretty good races. A perfect tune-up race for London because Cambridge falls in March, doesn't it? And some fast times come out of Cambridge as well. So
that's something I need to think about is a tune-up race. When am I going to put that in and where am I going to do it? So something I really need to start thinking about now.
Yeah.
Mark Mannings says Brighton Marathon, hoping for a sub 3:30. So awesome. Best of luck with that, Mark. Brighton, as Andy said, it's a good old race. It will hold a special place in his heart. But yeah, watch out for those side winds down the seafront.
Watch out for them seagulls as well. I really genuinely loved the end of Brighton Marathon because you run with the sea on your right-hand side. I mean, the course might have changed since I did it. I think it has. But the stretch along the seafront to the finish line is nothing short of magical. And if you've got like a decent weather day, it's just amazing. So and even if you don't, it's the end of a marathon. You'll be buzzing anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, just enjoy every second of it if you can, because you'll be in a pain cave, but just try and enjoy every second. We've got MN Key Hayden, who said he's starting with the Warwick half, see you there, in 2 weeks, and then the London landmarks in April. Yeah, may see you at Warwick, he says. So yeah, see you there. Looking forward to that one.
Excellent. Yeah. Are there still places for Warwick available?
Yeah.
Because I haven't entered it, but I'm very tempted.
It's right up your street, Warwick is, because it's hilly. So you'd really particularly love that horrible kind of pain. I think you'd quite enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm tempted. I'll see. I'll see how I feel this week. Yeah. Those two runners, as said, firmly on the ultra bus.
Legends.
6 weeks until 54 kilometers. Welcome back. We have missed you.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Kaylee and Chris. Yeah, cheers, guys.
54k, the ultra. Yeah, it's a big old run, that is, isn't it?
It's a moving picnic, isn't it? You've just got to stuff your face, and if you love eating, you'll love ultras.
Yeah,
that's all. So you'll be fine. Just take all the food. Kaylee, get Chris carrying it, and then you let him do all the work. Let him be your donkey. He can carry everything, carry all the bags, and you can just do all the eating. How about that?
Yeah.
And Chris, by the way, Chris has said, on his YouTube channel is he got called out. Not called out, that's the wrong word. He basically said on his YouTube channel, he's never, ever in his life walked a hill whilst he's been a runner. And someone said in his YouTube comments, you should try such and such a hill. And I watched a 5-minute long video that he did, and he was literally like crying by the top of it, but he didn't walk. So yeah, have a look at those two runners on YouTube to find that video, because I did that just before Christmas last year. And that was an incredibly good video. He just got the drone in front of him and just ran up a hill, and he's like, "I'm not stopping. I don't care what happens." And the drone even crashed into a gate, but he still carried on. So that's how steep it was. It crashed. The drone crashed up a hill. So who have we got now? Rob Scott. Rob Scott says Manchester Marathon 4:22 debut last year, and is aiming to take an hour off.
Oh, yes, go on. Go on, Rob.
Yeah, we love that kind of optimism here. Yes, you absolute legend, Rob.
Yes, go for it. Yeah. That's an ace thing to aim for, isn't it? An hour PB.
Oh, that's just sounds really sexy.
Yeah.
So
that's what I did down in London on my first two, but my first marathon wasn't 4:22. It was a lot slower than that. So to take an hour off, it was a bit easier for me. But yeah, go on, Rob. You can do that.
I did 3:21 last year, and if I can do it, everyone listen to this can. So believe that you can do it, and you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it.
Yes. Mark Gurdy Runs says Stamford Striders 30k, 16th of February, and then Cambridge half on the 9th of March.
Amazing.
So 30k. So what's that in miles? What's 30k?
19.9 according to TQ. It's just under 20 miles.
Oh yes, because you did your 30k long run, didn't quite hit 20 miles, did you?
No, it's less than that. It's about 18 and a half mile, isn't it? Because 32k I think is 20 miles.
20 mile. Yeah. Yes, it is. Yeah, because you've got 10k to go at 20 miles in the marathon, haven't you?
Yeah. So fair play, Mark. I think that's it's a club run, obviously, and I think he did that last year. I remember him putting that on his Strava. So good luck in Cambridge as well.
Yeah, best of luck, mate.
Will Fu can't really say the second half of this because there's a little expletive. Let's just say he's very excited about this.
Yes.
Barcelona sub-3 marathon. Let's go, with a choice word in the middle of let's and go. So
and
there's one person,
he's shouting it because it's all in capitals.
It's all in capitals. Love it. If there's one person that deserves a sub-3 or that the world is willing on to get a sub-3, it's that boy. So
damn right.
Come on, son. Come
on. Come on, Will. We can.
So,
yes, you can do this, mate.
Barcelona.
You have definitely got it in the bag, and to carry him over that line, he's got a brand new shiny pair of silver Adios Pro 4s. So they're gonna get him across that line in that sub-3. I know it.
Definitely going to do the business for him.
Yeah. Then Westy J runs. 2025 is an odd one for me. I'm using it as a base build for Manchester Marathon in 2026. So a year of no marathons and just getting those base miles in and getting that training in, ready to go for it again in 2026. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, fair play. That's very playing the long game. Love to hear that. That's pretty good. And with the last one was from...
This is a great handle, a great Instagram name, isn't it?
What, Marathon Man 26.2?
Yeah.
It was pretty good. Yeah.
Just exactly what it says on the tin.
Exactly. It's his third London Marathon, followed by Edinburgh Marathon 4 weeks after. So that's pretty...
that's a good old double, isn't it?
Yeah. So Stephen Smith from... it's Stephen who is in awe of you. No, it's Stephen from in Scotland who said he couldn't believe. He said he laughed at your response when you did 2. Was it 2 marathons in a week? He did. He did 2 marathons in a season. Yeah, yeah. So yeah. Best of luck, Stephen. And so London Marathon followed by Edinburgh. So what's that? What's the gap in between that? About 4 weeks or so.
It says there 4 weeks.
Oh, sorry, I missed that. I read it out. I should know that. So that's exciting. So that brings us up to date with everyone. So thank you so much, everyone that wrote in.
Yes, thank you very much indeed. Now I think we should possibly leave our emails and comments until next week because we had a lot to catch up on this week after having we had 3 weeks off.
Yeah.
So we've got after having 3 weeks off, it's been an odd old time. I got confused a couple of times on a Friday, thinking that I should be doing this, and then realised we said that we wasn't going to do it. But I think we both suffered a little bit from a bit of
burnout.
Yeah, a bit of burnout,
fatigue.
Over Christmas, I think both of us had a bit of a moment where we went, "Oh man, we're probably doing a bit too much." So
I definitely needed a rest because I was just finding myself just like, and even now, to be honest, that's why I'm glad we're back podcasting because it's a date in the diary, it's happening. I can't procrastinate and put it off because we're doing this. So this now is going to kick my ass to try and get my YouTube stuff back out there because I've been filming stuff, but I haven't been making stuff, if you know what I mean. So I'm quite looking forward to getting on it again and uploading a few things because I had a bit of a lazy January. But are we going to do the final one and only segment that we haven't mentioned?
Yes, I didn't even bring that up because I completely forgot about it. I don't know what I'm doing. We haven't done this for so long. I don't know what I'm doing. So fill the space while I get it onto here. Okay,
all right. Well, the reason that this doesn't matter because you don't know what time of day it is, but it's currently 9:00. I actually asked Brett if we could do it a bit earlier tonight because I want to watch the Traitors final. I'm mad into the Traitors. One of the greatest things to ever be committed to British television. It is phenomenal. So much so I'm considering going on it next year. I'm considering going on it. All you've got to do is find out who the traitors are, or if you're a traitor, you've got to lie and pretend that you're not a traitor. It's brilliant. It's absolutely. You think, that sounds rubbish. It's so good. It's so good. The backstabbing is just brilliant. Absolutely love it. So I'm well up for it.
You and your reality TV, I swear.
Love reality TV. Absolutely can't beat it.
And what's starting next week that you're really excited about?
Married at First Sight Australia. Maths Australia. To our Australian listeners, they'll probably know what that is. And yeah, it's brilliant. It's absolutely wonderful television. Absolutely brilliant. So I can't wait for that. Amelia will know, our Australian commenter and emailer. Amelia will know exactly what Maths Australia is all about. Or she'll probably just call it Maths.
I've heard about it and I know what it's about, but I don't know if I could bring myself to watch it.
Just the drama. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, but am I right in thinking that although it's called Married at First Sight and they have a wedding on first sight, it's not an official legal wedding?
It's not legal. It's just for television. No.
Yeah. Okay.
But
because if it was legal, that's a crazy concept.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. You've got to sign over half of your earthly possessions to a stranger. There's nothing you can do about it.
Right. So I have the Strava segment.
How long has it been since you've heard that?
So last week's leaderboard, in first place, we have Matt Southam with 72 miles on the nose.
Good lad.
And then in second was Nicholas Forsman with 71.5 miles. And third was, and I'm going to mention something about him in a second, was Nathan Hampson on 71.4 miles. And I saw Nathan at the Worley Woods cross country because he has decided to sign up to one of the competitors' teams. He has joined the Quiney brothers over at Tipton.
Oh!
So he made his cross country debut in a Tipton green and white striped vest.
January transfer window.
Yeah.
Oh, well done. Good. That's a big move. That is. That's massive.
So awesome work that you have joined a club. It's going to be, honestly, it will be one of the best things you've ever done. So enjoy. Yeah. And I know he's got, I think, is he doing London? I think he might be doing London. It's either London or Manchester. So,
right.
Do you know or?
No, I don't know. I don't actually. I can't remember if we wrote in to tell us or not. Because I read.
Yeah.
Was it him you saw at the end of Birmingham, Nathan?
Yes.
Oh, hang on, Misa. What's Misa doing?
Oh, come on, you off that chair, please. Thank you. Hang on. I'm trying to find what's he doing. No, he's doing Newport because his time at Chester, which would have got him into London, Chester was after the London qualifying period. So it missed the cut-off for the qualifying period. So he's got into London 2026, but he's doing Newport this year.
Right, so, fair play. Yeah.
Best of luck with that, mate.
Yeah.
And then for our climbing, we have Pickwick in first with 6,526 foot. Rachel Watson in second with 4,232 foot. And Ash Spedding with 3,770 foot.
Right.
So then, because I didn't prepare, I'm going to have to search through to find our top three ladies. And in first place was Chloe Hamard with 55.6 miles. So well done, Chloe. We then have... I know I'm going to miss one now. Victoria Lee in second with 40 miles and Liz Brown just behind with 39.9 miles. So well done to all of you.
These are big miles in January already.
Yes, they
considering
are,
no one's peaking for their marathon and half marathon training yet. People are already doing some big miles. So fair play.
Yep. It's impressive. So, yeah, we shall see where that goes on the next Strava segment. So thank you very much, everybody who has joined the club. If you haven't joined the Strava club, go and join, and you may be on the leaderboard sometime soon.
And subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're 3 away from 500.
Yes.
We're on 497.
Yes, go and subscribe to our YouTube, and and if you want, go and join us over on Instagram as well. We will hopefully this year start posting a bit more, because we're very infrequent with our posting on Instagram, so we probably do need to post more. So go and join us over there, and we will see you in some shape or form on one of the online platforms. I don't know.
And next week, I think, is the big 50, isn't it? Next week is number 50.
It is indeed. Yes.
Podcast number 50. Wow.
Yes. We have reached half a century next week. So it's time to celebrate. But thank you so much to everybody for listening or watching. And we shall see you next week. Cheers, guys.
Take it easy, guys. I'm off to watch The Traitors now. More lies and deception. That's just married life, basically. I might watch The Traitors as well.